We love obsidian artifacts, and we're about to make our own obsidian knife patterned after this authentic spear point, and we're starting right now. This is that spear point, and we're going to make a smaller version of this for a multi-purpose knife. We've already done some rough work on a piece of obsidian. Now it's time to add some detail work to it and wedge it into a rib bone handle. When we find bones in the wild, we're not always sure how they're going to be put to use someday, but we're always glad that we took the time to give them second life. And in this case, we have the perfect size handle for our obsidian knife. We need to do some flint knapping on this piece to get our edges sharp and form the exact shape that we want. We need to split this rib bone with a bone chisel that we'll use for a wedge. We want our knife blade to fit just right inside the split rib. We've got to make sure and dull the back of the handle a bit so it doesn't cut our cord while we're wrapping it. We always want our tools to look nice and feel good in our hands, and this scouring brush does a great job of sanding and smoothing. And some leather is going to do the job of buffing and shining. We're starting a depression here so we can drill a hole in the end of our handle for a nice lanyard. Okay, time for drilling. We've got several drill bits that we use. Sometimes it takes some experimenting to know exactly which bit should be used at which stage of the job. For this case, we used both stone and bone bits, and ultimately it was the small bone bit that got us all the way through. We need to melt some pitch for sealing the blade in place, so we need a fire. These are mussel shells from the Oregon coast. They've got some pitch mixed with a little charcoal powder for setting up hard and holding its shape. We're working the pitch down into the rib bone handle, and we need to work fast because the pitch sets up hard in less than a minute. It's important to work in any extra pitch that you can to help make the back of the knife hold its position and not work loose. It's best to have the cord all ready for wrapping and tying while the pitch is still warm to help secure the stone even tighter. We decided to put 3 or 4 half hitches on the end of this wrap and tighten it down good. We usually put a little pitch on it to secure the cord in place and to weatherproof and wearproof it, but we liked how it looked as it was, so we just left it. Here we're making our lanyard using the same twist and wrap method that we use for the bindings that hold on the obsidian tip. We really don't want to use this knife for any hard woodworking projects or other heavy-duty jobs. We specifically want this to be a knife that can be used for cutting nettles, other plants, and soft barks and cords. The longer rib handle makes it perfect for cutting off the leaves of nettles without getting stung. Here we're cutting and smoothing a Himalayan blackberry shoot so that we can harvest the fibers for making cordage. We use sword fern to make bedding and insulation in our shelters. Having a knife like this saves time, energy, and wear on our hands when we need to collect large quantities of fern. Taking a couple leaves off this burdock, and if you follow our flint and steel firemaking ventures, you already know why we love this plant. We'll leave these leaves out here to decay so that they can be used as tinder for flint and steel fires. This plant is called giant knotweed. It grows a little like bamboo, but it's way more fragile. We're cutting a section out to make an elk whistle. We made one from this plant years ago and called a number of elk in with it. Looking at the authentic primitive blade and the one we made, I gotta say, I feel pretty satisfied with our new tool. Here's the biggest knife we made years ago, and it's set in a yew-wood handle. This rib bone knife had no trouble cutting through leather, but for leather work, we prefer an Obsidian straight-edge knife made from a sharp blank that's been flint-knapped. The obsidian stone that we used is translucent, but most obsidian is not. And we thought it looked pretty cool with the red light behind it to set it off. So let us know what you think of our knife, and if you're an obsidian lover like us, let us know what you use it for or what you'd like to see us do with it. We always enjoy your suggestions. If you're new to Wilderness Strong, subscribe and turn on notifications because we're all about bushcraft, nature, ethnobotany, and wilderness survival. And we don't want you to miss what we've got coming up for you. Thanks for watching.